We often believe that love can conquer nature, that if we nurture a wild creature with enough affection, we can rewrite its DNA. But the tragedy of St. James and LaDonna Davis is a chilling reminder of an undeniable truth. The wild always remains wild. This is not just a story about an animal attack. It is a heartbreaking look at the devastating consequences of treating an apex predator like a human child. To understand the nightmare that unfolded in 2005, we must go back to the 1960s. St. James Davis was working in Tanzania when he rescued a baby chimpanzee from poachers. He named him Mo. St. James and his wife, LaDonna, brought Mo back to their suburban home in California. They didn't just keep him as a pet. They raised him entirely as their son. For decades, Mo wore human clothes. He ate with a knife and fork, slept in a bed, and rode in the family car. To the Davises, he was a gentle family member. But beneath the surface, Mo was growing into a fully mature male chimpanzee. He possessed bone-crushing strength, roughly 5 times that of an adult human, and the instincts of his species were merely lying dormant. By the late 1990s, the inevitable happened. Mo began exhibiting aggressive behavior. After he severely bit a woman's finger and attacked a police officer, authorities intervened. The Davises were forced to surrender their beloved Mo. The separation was devastating for the couple. Mo was eventually relocated to the Animal Haven Ranch, a sanctuary in Bakersfield, California. St. James and LaDonna never abandoned him. They visited Mo regularly, bringing him his favorite treats. On March 3rd, 2005, they made the drive to the sanctuary to celebrate Mo's 39th birthday. They brought a cake, balloons, and chocolate milk. It was supposed to be a joyful reunion, a quiet moment between 2 parents and their surrogate son. As St. James stood near Mo's enclosure, offering him a slice of cake, the atmosphere shattered. Without warning, 2 other male chimpanzees escaped from their cages. Their names were Buddy and Ollie. These apes had no connection to the Davises. They were not raised as humans. They were massive, highly territorial, and operating entirely on primal instinct. The escaped chimpanzees bypassed Mo entirely. Buddy, a 200-pound male, locked eyes with St. James. In the animal kingdom, direct eye contact or simply standing in the wrong territory can trigger a lethal response. Buddy charged. St. James, a 62-year-old man, had absolutely no time to react and 0 chance of defending himself against the oncoming force. The attack was instantaneous and unimaginably violent. Buddy tackled St. James to the ground. Within seconds, Ollie joined the assault. Chimpanzee attacks are not like bear or lion attacks. They do not kill quickly for food. They attack to maim, to disfigure, and to strip away the victim's defenses. They systematically targeted St. James's face, hands, and feet. LaDonna rushed forward, desperately trying to protect her bleeding husband. She threw herself into the chaos, but one of the apes simply swatted her aside, biting off her thumb. She was powerless to stop the maiming. The chimpanzees were acting with a terrifying, calculated brutality, tearing at St. James with their teeth and immense physical power. The sanctuary owner's son-in-law heard the screams. He grabbed a revolver and ran toward the enclosures. He found a scene of absolute horror. St. James was barely clinging to life, suffering from catastrophic injuries. The man had no choice. He leveled his weapon and shot Buddy. But even the gunshot didn't immediately end the nightmare. Ollie grabbed St. James and began dragging his mutilated body down a nearby pathway, continuing the assault. The man pursued them, finally shooting Ollie as well. The horrific silence that followed was broken only by the sounds of the sirens approaching in the distance. The attack had lasted several agonizing minutes. The psychological toll on everyone involved was immeasurable. The sanctuary owners lost 2 of their animals and witnessed a horror that would haunt them forever. Mo, the chimpanzee the Davises loved like a son, was forced to watch his human parents be torn apart through the bars of his cage, entirely powerless to intervene. When paramedics arrived, they were traumatized by what they saw. St. James Davis had suffered injuries so extreme, they defied belief. He had lost an eye, his nose, his lips, and a significant portion of his facial structure. Several of his fingers were gone, and his foot was mutilated. His survival was nothing short of a medical miracle. St. James was placed in a medically induced coma for months. He underwent dozens of reconstructive surgeries just to be able to breathe and eat. Through it all, he and LaDonna maintained a tragic loyalty to chimpanzees. They never blamed the animals, acknowledging that they were simply acting on their nature. They even continued to love Mo. The attack at Animal Haven Ranch forces us to confront an uncomfortable reality. No amount of clothing, cooked meals, or human affection can erase millions of years of evolution. We romanticize the bond between man and beast, often blinding ourselves to the inherent dangers. The Davises gave Mo a life of love, but placed themselves in the crosshairs of nature. Today, the story of St. James Davis remains one of the most cited cases in the debate against keeping exotic pets. It stripped away the illusion of the friendly, domesticated primate. It showed us the raw, unforgiving reality of the animal kingdom, and it proved that ignoring the laws of nature often comes with a terrible price. Ultimately, this is a story of profound tragedy. It is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable trauma. But more importantly, it stands as a permanent cautionary tale. A grim reminder that when we bring the wild into our homes, we are not taming the beast. We are only setting the stage for the wild to reclaim its territory.